Viva! Viva Okoa Kenya, viva! Viva! Viva taxpayers, viva! Viva!
Instead of promoting sustainability and affordability, these VAT amendments shift the burden onto consumers while limiting access to essential goods and services. The government needs to identify an alternative solution that prioritizes its citizens while addressing rogue manufacturers to lessen expenditure burdens. The current approach must be reassessed, considering its long-term negative effects on Kenyan citizens and the broader economy. The Finance Bill also proposes deleting Section 17(5)(c) of the VAT Act, which currently allows businesses to apply excess input VAT to offset other tax obligations. Removing this clause will tighten cash flow for small businesses and delay operations, especially since VAT refunds are already chronically delayed.
Workers in the informal sector, those who are self-employed, and low-income earners continue to face the brunt of taxation with minimal relief. This situation undermines the principle of progressive taxation and deepens the divide between the well-connected and those struggling who are the majority.
This is a fact that the National Assembly must consider as it reviews the budget estimates and the finance bill for the financial years 2025 and 2026. This gap has created room for misplaced priorities, such as increasing number of advisors to the president and the creation of new state departments meant to reward political loyalty. Consequently, recurrent expenditure, largely driven by the wage bill, has risen sharply by 63% from 167 billion in the financial year 2021-2022 to 272 billion in the financial year 2023-2024 within the payer sector. Continued expansion of the executive contradicts the president's promise to Gen Z. The Okoa Uchumi campaign presented its official submission to Parliament, urging that the Finance Bill of 2025 and the budget for the financial year 2025-2026 be restructured to prioritize the needs of the people over the priorities of the elite. We have made it clear, Kenya cannot tax its way out of this crisis. We must first improve the spending framework. Austerity for the poor and indulgence for the powerful is neither a viable path nor a sustainable alternative. We need bold political will to cut wasteful spending, eliminate duplication of roles, and redirect funds to education, health, agriculture, and social protection. Okoa Uchumi urges members of Parliament to reject the regressive proposals in the Finance Bill of 2025 and instead advocate for a fiscal framework that is equitable, transparent, and centered on people. Supplementary budgets are being misused to undermine the voice of citizens in the budget process. In Supplementary 2 of the financial year 2024-2025, funding for social safety nets is facing a budget cut as resources are redirected to high-level offices such as the Office of the President, Deputy President, Prime Cabinet Secretary, and State House. Compared to Supplementary 2 of the financial year 2024-2025, the State House budget increased by 2.4%, rising from the 8.7 billion to 8.57 billion. The Executive Office of the President experienced a 17.6% increase, going from 4.5 billion Kenya shillings to 5.34 billion Kenya shillings, while the Office of the Deputy President saw a 3.9% decrease from 3.02 billion to 2.9 billion. This not only undermines budget credibility, but also violates Section 43(2)(c) of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, which prohibits variations to the original budget by more than 10%. The government's failure to implement a budget shaped by public participation significantly violates the right to public participation, rendering participation meaningless, breaching the principles of accountability, and denying economic and social rights, including the right to health, right to education, and adequate living standards. Notably, our analysis revealed that the government prioritizes debt servicing, which accounts for the largest expenditure item, consuming about 49% of the total budget. For every 100 shillings of every revenue collected, over 60% goes to debt servicing, leaving very little for development and transfers to the counties. This poses a risk as it may crowd out social sector spending if the need for fiscal consolidation ends up targeting programs and social sectors essential to inclusive growth, good governance, and poverty reduction.